Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Wednesday, August 14th, 2024. I'm Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Happy hump day, everyone. Here's a look at the ES in the daily time frame post CPI and core CPI data. The CPI month-over-month number came in at 0.2% versus a 0.2% forecast. The month-over-month core CPI number came in at 0.2% versus a 0.2% forecast as well. And the initial reaction here is in both directions. First a little up, then a little down, and then back up a little bit. And we have this narrow range that's been developed here. That range right there for the ES is just 25 points. Heading into the RTH Open, that's just 19% of average range. This market has been averaging 133 points per day over the last 10 sessions and 110 points per day over the last 5 sessions, and that is significant. So this is a tiny range here compared to how volatile the price range has been lately. We have in the previous session, again, we were looking at the 2-day narrow range and mentioned that that 2-day narrow range would open up a likely high range couple of days, especially with PPI and CPI data on deck. Yesterday was day 1 of that breakout. Very significant move to the upside and a continuation into the end of the day. And today's day 2 now, which could extend those gains today. Again, from the narrow 2-day range, we anticipated a range that could be seen anywhere between 150 and 200 points of range over the next couple of days. And already we saw a huge breakout in the previous session. And now if we get a continuation to the upside, we could be looking at a move that takes us toward 55.15 to 55.20 today, or into the next session. So again, this has been a very bullish move over the short term here, especially starting with that failed new low. Any pullback could be a buying opportunity for continuation higher as this market approaches 5,500 and the FOMC key level above. Remember, that FOMC key level right here from July 31st is 55 half. Price sold off away from that level, found a strong low, and we're now rotating back up, and we could be looking at a test back at that level in the next several days. So working our way higher, and any pullback could be a buying opportunity today for a continuation to the upside. Again, this market squeezing quite nicely, especially after breaking out of the 2-day narrow range. If we take a look at the NQ, very similar price action here as well. Nice breakout from the 2-day narrow range yesterday. Nice elongation and holding the gains into the close. I mentioned yesterday that we could see a 750 to 1,000 point move over the next 2 days. Yesterday was day 1. Today could be a day 2 continuation. The early pullback after CPI data came right into 19K even. That is the low of the day, 19K even. It could hold as the low of the day here, but even if we test those lows during intraday price action, bulls will want to defend for a checkmark continuation to the upside. And from the breakout low, if you're looking at, say, 1,000 points move higher, that'll take us up to about 19.6 by the end of the day. That would be the high range. Now, instead, we may be looking at something north of 19.2 to 19.3 by the end of the session. That'd be the low range projection of about 750 points. So looking for this thing to make a move into about 19.3 and change. Looking for a continuation to the upside also to the July FOMC key level. The July FOMC key level comes in right here. That's just shy of 19.5. And that's the target here after seeing a strong low the previous Monday here. So sold off away from the FOMC key level from July 31st and now snapping back to it for a retest up above. Looking for a continuation to the upside. Bulls looking to defend into weakness for a continuation higher in the near term. Now if we take a look at crude oil, You'll see right here, crude oil has been quite bullish. The previous session had a lot of compression here throughout much of the day and then fell into the close, pulled back into the previous session's mid, so it was a fade after trend day today. A little bit of a failed new low developing. A little bit of a failed new low, kind of a box reversal slash, higher low rejection below the previous session's low of 78.16, and that could lead to a squeeze back higher. Again, we're looking for a move into 80.62 and perhaps even higher into 81.50 as this market returns back to the key range high here and the previous quarter's close. So looking for this thing to continue to squeeze a bit to the upside, especially from where this thing broke down before. We were happily trading in this range here. On that session, took the previous quarter's close offered and dropped. We found a strong low. Now we're snapping back toward that level. So 80.62 and 81.50 could be upside targets up ahead over the next several days. Bulls trying to keep 78.16 bid today. Looking at gold futures, this one here is pretty much flat on the day. A little bit of a doji-like day. Not quite at new highs, but just shy of new highs. 25.22 half is recent highs, and today's high comes in just shy of that with a high right at about 25.20. We're looking for 25.25 to about 25.30, maybe even as high as 25.40 on this recent swing move up. So looking for this thing to continue to work its way higher into new highs beyond this previous high. And once that occurs, we could see another deep rotation back down, and then we try again. Again, that's been how this market has operated here lately. Very deep pullbacks with new highs shortly thereafter. So still looking for this thing to continue to work its way quietly higher, and then looking for some sort of counter trend move after that. Looking at the YM here put in pretty strong pivot high and low post CPI number. But the result here is about 185 point range so far. Very narrow range. One thing we were looking at heading into today's session in our trading room was watching the breakout high from Monday's session. So really you have 2-day highs right there. That's your Friday high. That's your Monday high. We got an outside day up Tuesday. So any pullback to the breakout point highs there could provide a checkmark continuation to the upside. So bulls trying to keep that area bid. Right now we've seen a little bit of a low coming in at 39,786. That's an early pre-market low. We could still see a lower low there, but bulls looking to defend into 39,750 for a continuation to the upside. Again, 2-day narrow range here, outside day up. That could give us about 1,000 points on the high end, 750 points on the low end. So if we're looking at yesterday's low right here, that's going to be 39,344. That means that we could be looking at 40,344 to the upside on a 1,000 point basis here. If we're just looking at about 750 points, then we're looking at a move that takes us into about 40,150 or thereabouts. So pullbacks early today could be defended for a continuation to the upside up ahead. Now looking quickly here at Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been kind of in a holding pattern here. You see today kind of doji-like overall. Still hanging in there. We had a strong low off the 50,000 level and price trying to recover 60K. As I mentioned before, if you can recover 60K, you have the new upside market structure between 60 and 70K that could be in play. And right now you have yourself a narrow 4-day range developing. If we kind of quantify this 4-day range here using our advanced ADR indicator, you'll see right here that a 10,000 point move could be ahead. 10,000 points would be a significant move here out of this 4-day range. Still developing. It could turn into a 5-day, 6-day, 7-day range, but clearly building energy. 10,000 points would be easy. The 125% target would take you north of 13,000 points. So right now, building some significant energy for a potential breakout ahead. Looking at ETH, this one has fared a little bit better in the near term, working a little bit higher, quietly higher here, but it also has a 4-day narrow range that's developing. You can see it here. And the potential here on that 4-day narrow range is anywhere between 600 and 700 plus points of range. Right there, that's going to be your average. That's 619. This level right here, 774. And those two levels right there could be in play for a big time target forecast here once this thing breaks free of 2800. This thing can start to work through 2800 and especially 29. It opens up some upside back into the market structure above. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this develops here heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.